So Odell Beckham Jr. will not play in Week 2, and not a surprise. Kevin Stefanski took that, announced it pretty early in the week. Didn't want to get where you dragged it out. And Jarvis Landry talked about the decision, and Odell, how anxious he is to get back on the field.
His situation, honestly, is really honestly between him and coach, and the training staff in there and his camp about how they're handling things. But I think the most important thing is that he's continuing to get healthy, and when he's comfortable enough, that he'll be out there.
Kind of off that, Jarvis, you battled your own injuries. Is it demoralizing or frustrating to think that you're at the finish line, like ready to go? And not saying that Odell had a setback, but just things change. Just like how frustrating is that to think that you're ready to go and then something happens?
Yeah, I mean he's a true competitor. So anytime the ball is out there and the whistle blows and it's time for a play to go, obviously he wants to be out there. There's no doubt in anybody's mind in this building that he wants to be able to be out there. But again, that's but his situation with coach and the training staff and how they handle it.
And Hayden, my read of it is Kevin Stefanski didn't want Odell to feel like, I got to come back in and help him win this game and save the season. And I think he took it out of Odell's hands to really, let's make sure you're 100%. And again, I think it's a pretty savvy move by a second-year head coach to realize that you don't want to let the player kind of get carried away with what's going on and make sure he's 100% ready to go with contact before you put him out there.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of a lot of things. I think it's Kevin Stefanski wanting to get his other guys reps during the week. I think it's a combination of Odell, not feeling like he's ready to go yet. He knows there's a long season. There's no sense in rushing this thing. I mean, they have two favorable opponents coming up in the Texans and the Bears, and no reason that they can't win those games with or without Odell. So I think it's a combination of everything. Odell just got to be 100% ready. And, the Browns are certainly the first to believe that we want him back when he's ready to come back. When he's 100% ready, the ACL injury is not one to mess with. Let him come back when he's ready so he can help us throughout the rest of the season. Maybe 15, maybe he does get 14 games in, and maybe he only does miss 2 or 3 games. And maybe, then he can push him towards the playoffs and then in the playoffs. So there's no real reason for him to rush it back. There's, again, everybody was amped up for the Kansas City game because it was such a huge game. But when Odell didn't play there, it's like, okay, now you have no reason to really play him in the next couple of games. I think with Kansas City, we all just got duped in the media because we watched him practice every day, and we were like, man, this guy looks as good as ever. He looks as fast as ever. There's no reason he wouldn't play. Well, if his doctors say that he shouldn't play and Odell thinks that he shouldn't play and he's not ready mentally or physically, then okay, then I get it. So there is time. There's time. There's no need to rush him back at this point, especially after this Kansas City game.